Here we have an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and no P patch. Surely we can get it right at the end. It's like the Riot developers have no foresight in anything. 15.5 patch notes, R farming now grants you plus 30 HP. That is kind of true, actually. It gives it to you 2 rounds early, so it's so strong. So why does Lee Sin lose his trait with Ultra Stance on death? These are all very valid. It is inexcusable that these bugs are making it to live. Oh yeah, here we go. Riot and Nico. I think there are some valid talking points here, but gonna be honest, this is my first ever impression of you, and it's incredibly embarrassing. Not really interested in further discourse. My thoughts. I actually think... Let's go ahead and read the document. To give you guys all context about what's going on here, there's a Reddit post everyone keeps asking me to read. This pro player named 149 centimeters says, I quit this set Google Doc nuke. And then the Reddit poster says, I've known 149 CM since he got into the competitive scene a year or so ago. He really loves this game, but it seems like him and many others in high elo scene have expressed deep frustrations towards many aspects of the set. What do you think? Do you relate to his grievances? First comment, holy Google Doc meta is back. So let's take a look at this. All right, so it is a Reddit post that is complaining about the state of the game. I mean, again, before I even read this, I'll preface this with, I personally really don't like the state of the game. I'm trying my hardest to have a good time with it anyway. That's why, like, I would like to say my vibe of the stream has been pretty good. Try to stay positive on every game no matter what. With that being said, I do think the game is not in a good state right now. I've complained about it a lot. They've made a lot of problems, and I do think that Riot dropped the ball on this set. Mostly in regards to bugs and balancing. There are just a very large amount of bugs and balances issues. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. He says, this set is so bad that everyone I know that GAT plays competitively has quit competing. Competitively, this set is just a disaster, so I'm gonna rant. Let's play TFT equals. Let's go to Vegas and put everything on red. Set mechanics, fruits. Set 13 anomalies provided 35% increase for 1 unit and was not movable and was generic. Everybody had the same pool. Riot devs, let's make a new set mechanic. Let's give everyone 2 movable fruits. Make it so that scaling fruits can appear on 3/6, where you get your second fruit. So you're sitting there thinking, should I fruit my Virgo and get max Arcana, max speed, or should I fruit my 0 items Swain 0 so I can lose a silver augment's worth of combat for 1 turn for fun? This is very true, by the way. Like, they should not be giving you the second fruit on 3/6. It does put you in this weird spot where, like, you have to sack 1 round a lot of the time, and other people just don't. Also, on 3/6, you can be offered stuff like max Arcana or, like, Golden Edge, and it's, like, completely useless. I've had times where, like, I completely lose a fruit because all 3 of my options are, like, Singularity, Max Vitality, or, like, All Out Cassante. And it's like, I don't want any of those. I just wanted any generic tank one. And, like, you lose because you fruited on 3/6 instead of 4/1. Fruit balancing. So you're telling me I can either get a full red buff and a Rabadons for my 5-item Kale, or I can use both my fruits on 2/1, miss, and get stuck with Double Strike, Ramping Rage, or Soul Chippa. And this is the case for 50% of the units in the game. Karma, sure hope I hit Mage, minimum 1 placement swing. Jinx, sure hope I hit Gather Force, minimum 1 placement swing. Gwen, sure hope I hit Fusion Dance. Why is it still bugged? Oh, why the fuck is it still bugged? Literally everyone in the game. Sure hope I hit Sky Piercer, 2 full fucking item for you. Poppy, sure hope I hit Best Defense. Let's build towards it. Miss, kill yourself 8th. Akali, sure hope I hit Crimson Veil, XD. Udyr, sure hope I hit Colossal, 74 placement swing. Smolder, sure hope I hit Rare Treat and then Efficient, in that order. Cog Mao, sure hope I hit Caretaker or Fairy Tale. Every single 1 or 2 cost unit, sure hope I hit over 9k. Darius, no Fusion Dance, 8. Very large sad emoji. Yasuo, sure hope I hit Him Kama Morprage. Every single comp in the game. Socialite. Lamau. Combat Start Maker adjacent hexes. Units starting combat in those hexes gain 120 HP and 12 damage a mop. Vlethko? Sure hope I hit Stretch Arm. GP? Sure hope I hit Stretchy Arms. GP Lamau. Why can there be a patch where 4 people playing PG Venus get out top 4? Okay. A professional 44 team contested themselves on GP and won the game. Lamau. Here we have an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and no P patch. Surely we can get it right at the end. And the balanced thrashing in this set is beyond belief. Yuumi was A tier at best. Let's fucking send a drone to her house and everyone she know. I've actually never used stats like this, so I don't know what this data means, but it's probably something to show his earlier argument about placement swings. 2-star fucking 4 cost, by the way, D colon, or colon D. 9 lives, sad face, removed, basically. Socialite, removed. Fusion Dance, removed. Frost Touch, removed. Shadow Clone, removed. Stretchy Arms, removed. But maybe they need to balance Thresh, since there's literally no balance in this game. Kisa, Fishbones minus 1.6. Ash, Flicker Blade, TFT Fishbones TFT. Mana Mazane, Luden's Tempest, XDDDDDDDDDDDDDDD, Sniper's Gwen, Range GP Viego, Picture of Garen with Locket, Silvermere Jace, Blyfing Jewel Malzahar Shadow Clone, Killer Instinct Range, Happy Emoji. So how come for like 3 patches in a row, the best gold augment in the game for 2-1, 3-2, 4-2 was Portable Forge? GP patch. Radiant Items Lamafau. Blue buff, 15 AP AD. Radiant blue buff, 60 AP, 60 AD. Radiant Hodge, minus 1.0 average placement on Vi and Kata for fun. Treasure Hunt. Sir, would you want 1 healing orbs or 2 3 prismatic augments in 1 gold augment? He's referring to when Treasure Hunt was like the best augment in the game by far and you instantly win no matter what. That was on the first patch. Destiny augments, and then there's nothing there. Mort Dog on PvE. Every challenger player is freaking out right now about this 8 gold and how much it breaks the game and how good it is early. So we really can't go much higher, and to be honest, that's already probably too high of a number, but at least the low rolls will make up for it. So I actually expect to be honest with you, in Prismatic and Gold Destiny to be the Soju Rage Bait augments. Like somebody else in the lobby will take it and get a high roll, and he'll go on a rant of how they're just up 4 gold, and then they just win because they press the button. I hate this game. My name is Soju, like that's it. Oh, that's that. We are 100% expecting that. And we're purposely baiting him here so that the first time he takes it, guaranteed he gets something like Dumbify or whatever. Like absolutely, that's the entire point of this augment. We know it. It's a content farm augment. It's hilarious. Enjoy it. Result. Probably 1.0 average placement into nerfed by 50%. My name is Soju and Rage Bait haha. He's making fun of Mort Dog here, I think. And it's like the Riot developers have no foresight in anything. Hey, we are gonna buff Wraith and Heavyweight. If only there was a unit with an already good hero augment that we should be wary of. Riot devs, we want Star Guardian to be playable outside of the vertical. Let's buff the lower end of Star Guardian. If only there was an augment that f***ing buffed the lower ends of Star Guardian that already average a 2 in the right spots XDDQ. Protagonist gives 1 full item and the 2-star and component and the 1-star and the 1-star still S tier augment. It's kind of confusing, but he's basically saying Protagonist was so strong that it used to be a full item and 2-star, and then they nerfed it to component and 1-star, and then they nerfed it to just 1-star, and it's still really good. Basically saying that it was really broken at the beginning. 15.5 patch notes, R farming now grants you plus 30 HP. That is kind of true, actually. It gives it to you 2 rounds early, so it's so strong. Isekai. And then there are the bugs Lamau. Patch 1, load up. No one can play the game. 50-50, you gain or lose LP. 2 days later, patch flex. Check Crystal to see which patch you're on Lamau. If you guys don't know, there was a patch where when you queued up, you didn't know what patch you were on, which is... It's really bad. That one's actually pretty inexcusable. I don't know like how that happened, but if you queued up, there was a 50% chance you were just like on the main patch and 50% chance you were on the old patch. So which builds you wanted to play depended on which patch you were on, and you had to figure it out by looking at the numbers on the units. It was really bad. It was pretty inexcusable. And then also there was like a section of 5 hours where if you queued up, nobody could get into the game, and then it was just a black screen, and then you just randomly got a placement 1 to 8. I don't even know if I put this in balance or bug, but Blink Attack Viego XD 9 lives not exclusive with hard bargain. That's pretty bad. That's pretty inexcusable. That means you like lose 3 lives and then hard bargain and just gain all your lives back. You can't get below 2nd place. 9 lives on 4-2 with beggars can't be choosers. Also inexcusable. Socialite strip didn't work for 2 patches. That is also true. If you took Socialite trying to make it work, it would look like it worked, which is crazy. And then the moment the unit walked forward, they would lose the Socialite buff. So if you like believed it was good in your spot and played it and didn't know it was bug, you would just lose the game. Not done yet, only needs 6 deaths for 2 patches. I didn't even know that was a bug, but wow, I didn't know that. Fusion fucking Dance gave 3000 AP. Still does. Oh, it's still bugged. Didn't know that. That's pretty bad. Mech Pilot Exec XD. I don't even know what bug he's referring to, but I wouldn't be surprised. Fruit Weight Bug. I also don't know what he's referring to, but I wouldn't be surprised. Ali out Casante in Ghost. I don't know what that means. Unstoppable in ghost boards. I'm guessing on ghost boards, these augments or these fruits are either way stronger or way weaker. Executioner didn't work on the mech until this patch. I see, that's a huge bug. So why does J Inks have an extra fruit on live right now? Does anyone know? So why does Lee Sin lose his trait with Ultra Stance on death? These are all very valid. Oh my God. Ramus pissing. XDDDDDD. Patch notes. Taking I'll Be the Arms will now guarantee the other 2 augments. Liar. This is true. They did say that if you take I'll Be the Arms, it will guarantee the other 2 augments, and then it didn't. And then on the following patch, they said, we fixed it, now it does, and then it didn't again. And then on the next patch, they said, hey, we couldn't fix it, so we're just straight up removing it from the game. But a lot of people lost LP for taking I'll Be the Arms, thinking they were going to get the other 2 augments. Okay, I need some water. This is exhausting. Oh yeah, Lee Sin having 3 traits during Bronze for Life, Mento Meta XD. That's very balanced. Callista for half a day killed your entire board. That is true. There was a bug that they shipped to live where Callista or 3 randomly one-shot your whole board. I don't know like how that happened. And I think it was supposed to be some bug fix where like her penetrating spear wasn't penetrating correctly, but then they like messed it up and then it was very wild. Her spear would just bounce around your entire board and kill everything. It is inexcusable that these bugs are making it to live. Like it's like they didn't test it at all. 5 Crystal Gambit, 22 kills, Flicker Blade, or literally nothing. Okay, I'm not sure what he's referring to. I think he's saying in an exaggerated way that Flicker Blade is just so much better than everything else, which is true. I've lost a lot of games with 7 Crystal Gambit because I didn't hit Flicker Blade and my opponent did. And the fucking Lulu toggle bug. How can there be 2 Smolder 3s on 4-2? I don't fucking get it. This is also true. There is a really big bug right now that you need to abuse if you want to be able to win with Lulu. If you have like 5 Ramesses and then you switch to Smolder or Kog'Maw, now you are rolling in an uncontested pool. So if you have 8 Ramesses and another guy has 8 Ramesses and there's only 2 Ramesses left in the pool, all you gotta do is swap to Smolder. There are 0 Smolders out of the pool. You just roll like twice and you get it immediately. They said they fixed this bug and then they didn't. And then they said they fixed it again and then they didn't. It's really bad. A really common trend, it's this set only, and I don't know why, but like they keep on saying they fixed something and then they didn't, right? Like 2 of my second places today should have been first, but my Ahri was bugged. They said that they buffed her overkill damage and then they didn't. And then I lost by like the overkill damage amount. They said they buffed it to 75% and then I checked in game, it's 55. And I checked to make sure that like it wasn't just a visual bug, like a numbers bug, but it actually was just like the old patch. I don't understand why they keep on saying they ship a change and then it just simply isn't there. Like something at Riot has to have changed. There was probably some guy or some people, like a team, that would check the patch and make sure everything was valid. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they like left Riot and then someone else new came in and didn't know how to do it very well. That's my theory. All right, anyway. Augmentations, teamfight tactics. So you're telling me in Prismatic Party, I don't get offered gold augment 2-1. I either get invested plus on 3-2 or I'm fucking 8th. You're telling me my 4-2 Prismatic playing Ashe is hold the line, Blazing Soul, Tomb Raider, Bronze for life. He's basically saying you can low roll. Yeah, I mean, that's always been possible. And then 2-1 gold augments Lamau. A Satria of 7 Warpath. Another one. Dazzling Display. You know what? Never mind. Every trait augment evil beyond measure pilfer. Blood Rage, pumping up. He's basically listing all the terrible augments, which is true. These are all terrible. While my opponents is choosing between Tiny Team Keepers and Worth the Wait and Gold Destiny and Portable Forge and Shen Hero Augment. Can we just add some more gold augmentations on 2-1? Please, Riot Games. Diamond Hands. You can't even live until 4-7, even with Titanic on 2-1. Like, why is this even in the game? It's in the game for 3 patches, by the way. That is true. This augment probably averaged quite literally a 7. If you took that augment, there was like an 80 or 90% chance you just died before you got to activate it. Don't even get me started on hero augmentations. Flexibility, teamfight tactics. 5 Battle Academia, 4 Prodigy Yumi. What's this? A Zyra 2 on rolldown? So lucky. I'm selling that instantly. 4 Mentors. So flexible, guys. I can flex between a Kali, a 1-cost unit, or Volibear 2, or Lee on 8, or Yone. So lucky. Soul Fighter. Oh, I think he's saying if you're playing Soul Fighter, you can't play anything besides Soul Fighter, which is very true. Sork. I can flex between a Rise 1 in the front line or a Cassante 2 if I get lucky on my roll down. So fucking lucky. Duelist Ashe. Cookie cutter board. To be fair, Star Guardian's dispatch is actually flexible, but I'm pretty sure this is the only glimpse of flexibility we've seen this set so far. Introduce TPC this set. I think it's a Tournament Pro Circuit. And then proceed to make the worst competitive set known to man. Good one, R games. I definitely miss like shop bugged, 100% real, trash can matchmaking, and shit, but I'm not spending another minute on this TFT set, so I'm out. I sure hope Paris set is gonna be better than this piece of shit. And then that's the end of the document. All right, it took a long time to read, but we did finally finish reading it. Okay, so my thoughts. I actually think almost every single one of these grievances is very true. Riot actually did drop the ball. I usually defend Riot and say like, there's a lot of stuff to do. It's very hard to keep it balanced. It's very hard to check every single interaction. But in this set in particular, they did actually drop the ball a lot. I, as a player and someone who runs events for TFT, like the bootcamp, and participates and streams the game, I really hope that at the end of this set, they like give some explanation as to what's been going on. Because the amount of times your experience, like even just balance aside, which is already atrocious, the amount of times they just said they did something and then they didn't is really high. Like you actually like lose your trust in Riot Games when this happens, right? Imagine if in League of Legends, I don't know, Talon was overpowered, where every time he jumped across a wall, he healed to full, right? Game breaking bug. And then they say like, okay, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna permaban Talon because he's bugged. He's bugged. I'm gonna waste my ban to make sure I don't lose to a bugged unit champion. Then they say, hey, we fixed the bug. It's like, okay, I keep in my next game. I don't ban Talon. And then boom, it actually was still bugged. They just said they fixed it and they didn't. I lose 1 game. You could say, oh, it's only 1 game and now you know. But like, you're going to experience this every time there's a bug. And there's definitely been over 10 things in this set where they said they did something and then they didn't. I don't know what's going on there. But they actually did drop the ball. And I really want to know why. Because they didn't do this before. There's been questionable balance or design decisions in the past. But they've always like explained why they do what they do. And they've always like did what they said they did. This is the first time they're like straight up lying. And I don't know why. Or lying, it might not be the right word. They probably think that they did it. And they didn't. They probably thought that the bugs were fixed and announced it. My leading theory is that they have some new way of QA testing and it's just like somehow not accurate. Maybe they have like some private client that they can use to like sandbox simulate the situations, and then that sandbox client is different or something. That's my guess. So then on the sandbox, they quickly check the bug to see if it works or see if it fixed. And then it looks fixed on the sandbox client. They say it's fixed, ship it to live, and then it's not actually fixed. That's my guess. Yeah. So I think a lot of his complaints are really valid. I think we can all agree he's ridiculously aggressive. I've complained a lot, but I always make sure to like word it in a way that's like not attacking, right? There's like a really big difference between like, I want the game to be good and these are my frustrations versus fuck TFT and Ramus pissing XDDDDDD, a bunch of sarcastic emojis, lots and lots and lots of swearing. I mean, I swear quite a lot, but like even I didn't even read out all his like swear words just because like it felt really aggressive and stuff like this. I sure hope Harry's set can be better than this piece of shit. Not spending another minute on TFT this set, so I'm out. It's very aggressive. I don't know how prolific this player is. I've never heard the name 149CM, but I'm guessing he's a pro player. Something I'm thinking about is if I were him, I mean, it sounds like he wants to come back next set. It sounds like he's really angry right now, and then he's hoping the game is better next set, and then he's gonna come back. But I'm kind of thinking like, if I were Riot Games and this guy qualified for the pro circuit, would I let him in? I run the BoxBox bootcamp and we do like, you know, some level of minimal background check on our applications. We get like 1,000 applications from streamers every set. And like, this is the kind of thing where like, if I see this, I'm kind of scared to let them in. We let this one guy into a BoxBox bootcamp earlier who like didn't have any problems at the time, but then he turned out to be like a massive like rager flamer, and then he was incredibly toxic to a very large amount of the boot campers, and we like banned him for life. He kept up reapplying saying like, haha, sorry about last time, I'm better now, and then like we just don't let him in. This is the kind of thing that I see like, I'm scared to let, if this guy applied to BoxBox bootcamp, I'd be very scared to have him here because I don't want him to flame the shit out of me. If I make like one mistake on my event, I'm scared of getting flamed to hell and back. I'm scared of him harassing other boot campers. I wonder if Riot would let him compete if he decide, like, what if set 16 is really good and he wants to compete and he actually like had the skill, but then Riot's like, oh, we kind of don't want to let this guy in. So from his personal POV, I feel like this is burning a lot of bridges. I mean, maybe Riot won't care. Riot didn't make one mistake though. Yeah, they didn't. They made like 30 mistakes on this set. Let me make it clear. I agree with this document. I just think he was too aggressive. I think Riot will take this a lot less seriously because he was so aggressive. And I think there was a chance that if he worded all of this in a more like, I really like TFT. It's a really great game at its core. They made a lot of mistakes this set, and I'm very frustrated. Here is a list of like all the things that like went wrong. And like, I'd love to hear an explanation. I'd love to understand why it happened, and I'd love to feel confident as a competitor that it won't happen in the future. Then Riot might be like, hey, we appreciate that. And yeah, no, it turns out that I don't know. Before we shipped the patch, Mortdog's dog got on the computer and then changed one number in every single patch note. And like, that was out of our control. But like, don't worry, Mortdog's dog will not be allowed in the office anymore, and it won't happen again. I don't know. Yeah, Mortdog's dog. Maybe there's like some real explanation. Anyway. Yeah, TLDR, valid complaints, very aggressive wording. There was a lot of complaining in here, but I think 95% of it was actually correct. There was a few small things that I didn't think were correct. Like this one. This part right here is basically saying like, you can get bad augments. You always could get bad augments, right? You will always randomly lose games because you got 6 augments that were unplayable, right? That's just TFT, that's just variance. I don't actually think that one's a problem. I think it's more like the balance in general is just really bad. So you are more likely this set to get screwed over by augments than last set. Last set had a lot more like okay playable augments. Oh, what is this? Iniko tweet? Oh yeah, here we go. Riot and Iniko. I think there are some valid talking points here, but gonna be honest, this is my first ever impression of you and it's incredibly embarrassing. Not really interested in further discourse. Yeah, that's what I figured. I think he ruins, like, this is actually, if I have an idea, hang on. I have an idea, give me one sec. Hi, ChatGPT. If I copy and paste an incredibly aggressively worded document, can you clean it up and make it look polite and professional? It's a list of complaints. All right, let's try this. Let's see if this works. I'll preserve the substance of your complaints, but reframe it in a way that's professional, constructive, and more likely to be taken seriously. Feedback on the current TFT set. Hey, this looks pretty good. I don't actually know if it summarized it well, but Yeah, I think it was actually a good list of all the things that went wrong this set because nobody's actually compiled a list. There's just a lot of random small things. This could have been like the catalyst to fix the set, but instead it was not. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure that guy will never be allowed to compete again. If he ends up being 2000 LP and like the best player in the game, and like it said he was a competitor, so he's probably already really good. If he ends up being the best player in the game and TFT becomes awesome in set 16 or 17 or 18, he's probably not going to be able to compete. What happened? Is he banned? No, he's just quitting. Was it really that bad? He made no threats. I mean, he didn't say he was gonna like Riot Games. He didn't say he was gonna like for them or beat them up. But like, it's still really bad in terms of like if your goal was to try to make TFT better. He like makes fun of and mocks Riot a lot in the document. That wasn't his goal. I mean, that's fine then. If he just wants to mold, then it's fine that he can mold. As long as he like understands what will happen as a result, then it's fine. I mean, for me, it was very entertaining to read. So like, I had a good time. Playing devil's advocate, couldn't you argue that Riot wouldn't take it seriously if they didn't understand the true sentiment of players? You can make Riot understand the true sentiment of players without being incredibly rude. Why can't he just rant? He can. I'm not saying he can't do what he's doing. I'm saying that if I were him and I cared at all about my future in TFT, I would not have done that. He's allowed to do it. He's not gonna get any trouble. What I'm saying is it sounds like he wants to compete in TFT later and he burned that bridge. If he was actually like, I'm done, this game sucks, I'm never coming back, then he's totally valid to just like write that exit post. But like what I'm saying is he's trying to like have his cake and eat it too. He wants to make that post, but then if TFT does become good later, he wants to come back and play the game and compete. I think he'll be completely fine. I'm pretty sure Riot does do background checks. People who have been shown to be very toxic, except for Tyler 1 for some reason, I'm pretty sure like do not, like they don't really get in.